Hello everyone. My name is Dr. Gokilavani S. from Department of Professional Accounting and Finance, Kristu Jayanti, deemed to be University. Today we are going to discuss about Indian Accounting Standard 16, Property, Plant and Equipment. Here we have a meaning. So PPE is initially measured and subsequently measured using both cost or revaluation model, and every year they will depreciated the amount under any methods like straight line method or written down value method on a systematic basis over its useful life. So here I have an example. Let's take IAS 16 and how it has to be shown in the disclosure part. All the amounts are given in thousands. If an organization have a plant, equipment and properties like land, building, plant and machinery, furniture, vehicles. So every year the organization will start with the opening balance value. Then every year they will mention what is the addition added during the year, like purchases. Disposals means what are the assets, property, plant and equipment sold in a market value. If any, there is revaluation surpluses. So while doing a revaluation, if they have a surplus value, how it can be deducted in their financial statement. Finally, they will come up with a closing balance of all the plants, properties and equipments which they have used in the organizations with a date. So after determining the closing value of assets, how it is used by the organizations, so that accumulated depreciation value will be calculated and they will determine the carrying amount of each assets. So according to the example, I can able to say that IAS 16 helps the organizations how they can measure, recognize and present the property, plant and equipment in the financial statement. So according to that, held if any assets used in the production or supply of goods and services which has to be entered in the financial statement. Next, recognition based on the future economic benefits associated with the property, plant and equipments need to be probable entries and it has to be measured reliably when they come to asset of value. This is a format how we can do an initial measurement when an organization decided to purchase plant, property and equipment. So while purchasing the asset, they will surely start with the purchase price. According to the purchase price, if any supplier has given a discounts, so that will be deducted and the final price will be the first item. Second one, import duties and non-refundable taxes. So while purchasing any land or building, if there is any import duties or if there is any non-refundable taxes charged by the supplier, it has to be added towards the purchase price. Third, we have to include all the directly attributable cost. Starts with the site preparation. So when we purchase machineries, we need to start with the preparation of site preparations. Second one, they have to start with the initial deliveries. If any delivery charges are included, it has to be added. Transportation charges also will be added towards the purchase price. While installing the machinery, how much charges it is incurred, like labor expenses or any additional expenses are incurred, it can be added. After installing a machinery, if there is any testing process or testing expenditures are included, that also will be included in the initial measurement. While purchasing the machinery, if we have paid any professional fees towards any consultancies or any other third party people, so professional taxes or fees will be added towards the purchase price. Finally, we will end up with a dismantling cost. So if there is any other dismantling the particular machinery of previous one, or if there is any additional cost incurred at the time of dismantling, need to be added. So these are the directly attributable costs which has to added towards the purchase price. So the final amount we will make it as an initial measurement, and after determining the initial measurement we can do a recognition in a subsequent years under two methods. The two methods are cost model and revaluation model. Cost model is the same, what is the cost incurred while at the time of purchase. Along with that, if there is any depreciation during the current year by using the machinery or any particular asset will be deducted, and we can determine the cost model value. Revaluation model will be used at the time of subsequent year. So the assets will be used for a certain years, and after usage every year or frequent years they have to do a revaluation. So according to the market value, what is the determined price of an asset, and that will be considered as a revaluation model. So in overall we can say that if a manufacturing company or any industries using properties or any plant or equipment for their business to have a profit maximization, they have to keep it in our mind three things. One is how they can measure at the time of initial. Second one, during the usage of assets, do we have any additions towards the PPE? Third one, they have to determine is there any disposal assets are sold in a market. And finally, they will deduct the depreciation value. That amount will be considered as a net value of property, plant and equipment, and which has to be shown in their financial statement. So, in financial statement, we will have only the final value of PPE. All the informations will be disclosed in their financial statement. Thank you.